Hi guys, I am Katie. I am the mastermind behind Acre Homestead. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a background on how I got started doing this, a little bit about me and my family, and then I wanted to run through what I accomplished in my garden last summer and what my goals are for this summer. So just to start, I started homesteading in 2020, just like everyone else. We bought our house in summer of 2019, so it was kind of, we actually closed in like the end of June, so it's kind of too late to really start any summer crops. I could have done fall, but I didn't really know about it then. But so we did get chickens. I would say summer of 2019. So they started with 6 IS8 browns, and we still have 3 of them. 3 of them got killed because that is what happens when you have chickens. In 2020, right after we got chickens, we actually found out we were expecting our first baby. We were 4 months out from our wedding when I found out I was pregnant. So I was actually 20 weeks and some days pregnant at our wedding. Ryan is my husband. He works full time and he's a volunteer firefighter. I am a stay-at-home mom. I've been a stay-at-home mom for just over 2 years now. And we're actually pregnant with our second little girl. She'll be here in the height of garden season. She'll be here hopefully in June. I kind of think I'm going to carry over like I did with our first daughter, but she could be here anytime from mid-May to mid-June, so I guess we'll see. We are planning a home birth with our daughter this time. My last daughter was born in a hospital. I had an induction, I had epidural, I had the slew of interventions, and I was not happy about it. I bawled my eyes out. I'll go more into that whenever we get closer to baby. So summer 2020, like I said, I didn't grow anything. That's a lie. Summer 2020, I grew green beans, cucumbers, tomatoes, and a zucchini, I believe, in 5-gallon buckets. I didn't have a garden. I just grew in 5-gallon buckets. We didn't get much of a harvest. I think I got enough green beans for 3 meals. And we got a few zucchini. I made some zucchini bread, made some lunches and dinners. Not anything substantial at all. In summer 2021, we had my daughter in January, and I was overwhelmed with being a new mom. I didn't plant anything in 2021. I just didn't have the capacity for it. And honestly, it was a great summer. We spent the time getting to know our daughter, and it worked out great. Last summer, I really dove in and just kind of went crazy. We ended up tilling up a spot, the only spot in our backyard that we could have a garden, the only spot that gets sun. We ended up tilling a 20 by 15 plot, and we planted tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, green beans, lettuce, lemon balm, dill, basil. I think that's it. I was very successful last year. I was able to grow a year's worth of tomatoes, a year's worth of pickles, and a year's worth of green beans. Now I did freeze my green beans, so now that we're getting closer to summer, they're not great. Honestly, they're kind of freezer burnt. But I didn't have the thing that I needed I didn't have the pressure regulator for my pressure canner, so I didn't want to spend the $25 at the time to buy one, which I don't know why I didn't. But I froze them and it worked fine, but now I'm much more comfortable with pressure canning. So that's my goal for this summer. So this summer, my goal is to have 24 pints of pizza sauce. Last year I did half pints, and that worked fine for just Ryan and I, but Maggie is a pizza fanatic, so we have to make multiple pizzas now. Last year I did about 28 quarts of spaghetti sauce, which is way plenty for us. We haven't even touched half of it, honestly. But my goal this year is to put another 24 back, because I think whenever the new baby comes, we're going to eat a lot more spaghetti and stuff that I can just pop the can and throw it together. Cooking has been kind of easier because my daughter's bigger and she likes to help, so it's easy to make a more complex meal. But once the newborn comes, it's going to be much easier to just pop a can and serve something. I would like to do 12 half pints of Rotel, 8 pints of enchilada sauce, and then 12 pints of salsa. And that's all for my tomato products. If there's anything else that I should try, you guys let me know in the comments, because I want to try some new tomato product stuff this year, but I don't know what I want to try. As far as green beans, I want to pressure can them this year, and my goal is just 2 cans, like 2 quart jars per month, so 24 quarts of green beans for the year. We don't eat a ton of green beans except when they're fresh or when I'm making a stew, so I think that will be plenty for us. My mom and I are also going to try to grow potatoes this year, so my goal is to put back 12 quarts of diced potatoes, chopped, diced, whatever, potatoes. We will see. That is the only one I'm nervous about. And then I am doing, I grew onions last year. I'm doing onions again this year. Much, much more. I have 210 onion bulbs coming. And I planted about 75 cloves of garlic last fall that will be ready for harvest in the summer. So minimum, I would like to be able to harvest at least 2 months worth of fresh garlic and fresh onions. And I'd like to braid them, preserve them, the whole nine. We will see. My goal this summer, before I found out I was pregnant, was to expand my garden and make it like a 25 by 20. That is the extent that I could stretch it from where our son is. But with a newborn coming, I don't know if I want to do that. I'm really nervous about how, not even tending to the garden is going to go. That stuff I'm not worried about. It'll be fine. I can strap the baby onto me. But I'm worried about preserving. Because last year I got so overwhelmed with tomatoes that I kind of had to freeze a lot. And our house is pretty small. So whenever I turn on the gas stove, it heats it up so much here. And our electric bill kind of went through the roof last year just because I was canning so much. Now I did talk my husband into a propane stove, a double burner propane stove big enough for my canner for the back porch this year. So hopefully that will help. But it's also going to be a lot to juggle preserving the garden, a newborn, and a 2-year-old. So we'll just kind of see how that goes when we get there. I mentioned that my mom was going to help me grow potatoes, so she has raised garden beds at her house, which is about an hour north of me, and she has 12 raised garden beds. 3 of them are 8x4, and then the rest of them are 4x4, I believe. And we grew a ton of tomatoes at her house last year, and she grew quite a bit of green beans. She's actually the one that taught me to garden when I was a little bit younger. She wasn't huge into gardening, but enough that we always had fresh tomatoes in the summer and green beans and always zucchini. She always gets such good zucchini. But she has this thing called de quervins, which is where her hands don't always work super well. So I go over and I help her with her garden. Last year I tilled up all of her beds, spent 10 hours adding new dirt to her beds and tilling them and trying to help mend the soil. It was a process. So we got that all done. And in exchange for labor, she kind of lets me plant there and she just looks after it while I'm not visiting. So this year we're going to try some potatoes at her house. She's going to have more room for onions. And then we've got a ton of tomatoes. She's going to try to do Brussels sprouts this year, which is great for her because she loves them. And she will grow our jalapenos. She does do that. I also forgot to mention that I grew a bunch of bell peppers last year. Not a year's worth, but I'm still eating on them. We froze a bunch of them, and I don't use them a ton, so it's not like I eat 300 bell peppers a year. We eat, maybe 12 a year, honestly. So I diced them up and froze them, and I have some strips that I eat in fajitas. So that was great. If I can do that again, fantastic. I hope you guys enjoyed learning a little bit about Quarter Acre Homestead and my garden goals for the summer. I cannot wait to really get this YouTube channel started and show you guys what we do over here. It's a lot of chaos, it's a lot of fun, and hopefully you guys learn something from me along the way.